What's going on out there, good people? It is your boy Look Around with LMD Trading, and we are back. We are back with another daily trade review, wrapping up the first week of August with a green day and a green week. Even though today was a very ugly performance on my behalf in the market today. Looking at the P&L, you wouldn't really think that, but once you see these trades that we took, I think you might agree. It was fairly ugly day. So let's go ahead. Let's jump right on into TRADERVUE. Look at the details. We're going to be reviewing trades for Friday, August 5th. Took 12 trades today. Closed P&L 187.26. And as you can see out the blocks, we were 4 red trades. All of them pretty much stopping out full except for that first one. Today, we kind of scaled up on the short trades and just didn't seem to be working. Didn't have OBS recording on this first trade, which actually was a trade that I should not have been in. This was a trade. I had an order in the system prior to the market opening that would trigger only once the market opened. Market opened. I should have taken it out. Thought I saw something that I evidently did not see. Once I went back and looked at the charts, definitely did not see it. So we'll come down here. You're not going to really be able to see anything. This was a short. We got in down here. This thing just barely popped, and then boom, you see exactly what it did. We'll take a look inside of Thinkorswim before we go to the actual videos, just to look at what the market did this morning and to look at what Google had did this morning. But this was a full position. Ended up moving the stop up so that we would not stop out full, and we lost 25 bucks on it. Let's see. I think everything else we'll just watch the video on. These first two right here, expectation, I should have gotten out. I think they were up about a half hour. Yeah, both. Actually, I think all 3 of those. Trying to play like a little pseudo 3-bar play here. Getting in right here. Not good. That candle needed to been up there. This thing went about a half hour, pulled back, and then took off. And we'll look at NVDA real quick just to look at the numbers on it. Same thing. But this one we were getting in just trying to play continuation. Rolled over. Boom. Set that higher high. And then it was higher low off to the races. But look, they were just giving us about a half hour. And just for hits and giggles, we'll look at Google. I don't think Google did that though. Nah, Google I don't think gave us nothing. Look, see, it was a half hour. This was a short though. This was a short. Came back, stopped us out full. Like I said, we were going full size on shorts today. We was balls to the wall. This morning was not the morning to do it on. But let's go ahead. Let's take a peek inside of Thinkorswim real quick. We're gonna start with the SPY pulled up, and we're gonna be looking at this middle chart, upper middle chart. It has pre-market turned on. Look at what the market did. Later on, I found out why. Jobs report came out. Jobs report was actually a pretty good report, I heard. But the market did not see it that way. This thing sold off wicked in the pre-market. And then look at that bounce that it made. Excellent bounce back up, pull back, bounced back up, and it just stayed right around the 50 moving average all day. Look at that. Right around the 50 moving average. It broke the 50, couldn't hold it. It came back, it failed it, came back up to it, tried to break it, failed it again. That 50 was very powerful today. I actually took some trades basing it off of the 50. Come over here and look at Google. Google, the same thing. This thing sold off. This is what I saw. This right here to the downside, I put the order in, and you see it kind of triggered before the market opened. Then it came back up. The market opened. It peekabooed my order in, and then it just turned right over. So this was one I should have took the order out of the system before the market opened, but didn't do it. But that's what I was looking at on that one right there. But we'll go ahead now. We'll get the video running. Like I said, it didn't catch that one coming in because I was not paying attention to it. I just noticed that it had triggered me in, and I'm like, oh, snaps, I am in that trade. And while this is going, it will be a perfect time to hit that like button if you have not already done so. I would greatly appreciate it. We are slowly growing over here at Living My Dream Trading, and I enjoy y'all watching. Enjoy the comments. And if you are enjoying it yourself, please take a moment just to hit that like button for me. But as you see, we're scrolling through, just looking, seeing what the market is going to be doing. Let's see what time we get in our first one. We're getting the first trade at 9:35, so I'm going to go ahead, scroll it up. This was the little pseudo 3-bar play. Like I said, it really wasn't, though. With the 3-bar play, you want to see this bar within maybe 1 or 2 cents. 1 or 2 cents. You don't want to see this big difference in it. But I was over here looking at the 1 minute also, and that's what we really had gotten in off of it on the 1 minute. Nice little bottom and tail here. We had the doji. Gonna catch a little slack right there, but look at over here. Look at the 5 minute. This is what I never looked at. I never looked at the 5 minute where it's sitting right at the 50 moving average, and you have all this junk to the left. Got all of that junk to the left. So this was definitely not a good entry because of that junk. But we'll keep scrolling. Came looking at LYFT. LYFT was looking like it was going to kind of hold, but it rolled over. And now we see that we've gotten triggered in. Look at what it did. Triggered us in right here to this junk. It's got to fight to get through this. So I didn't pay this any mind right there. I never paid that any mind. Let's kind of speed it up. We come over and we look at NVDA. NVDA is the same. It has this junk to the left. VWAP is in a downtrend. It's kind of curling. It's kind of curling back up, but it's in a downtrend, and we have this junk to the left. So I'm going to speed this one up. We see we get triggered in, though. 65-cent stop. We don't set our upper target, so we're going to have to drag that down. And this was something that I have never really noticed. I didn't notice it until I was looking back at the video. Look at the VWAP is coming up. The 9 moving average is coming down. This is that's interesting. And you'll see what happens when they converge. But again, this is the same way. We got that junk over there. So not really a good entry. You see I had moved the stop almost up to break even because I was going to try to just get out of this thing. That probably would have been the best thing for me. It would have saved me $45 after seeing that this really was not a good trade. Didn't have confirmation on this going to hold the VWAP. Come over here, look at the 1 minute. 1 minute, it's somewhat getting in an uptrend. You see the VWAP is slowly starting to come in an uptrend, but let's speed it up. This was my expectation. You see, I done moved my target down, but this 9 moving average was just like coming down, and it was taking the darn stock with it. Like I said, I have never really noticed that on a chart before. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to speed this up this way. You're going to watch what happens. Just horrible. So it's just kind of crushing. You see the stock try to push it up, push that 9. Should not have took this trade with it trapped in between those two areas right there. But look at it. It's done now. Had the opportunity to get out and didn't do it. And boom, stopped out. Just an ugly trade. That was an ugly trade. But now we come over, we look at Google. Google's going to be another ugly one too. Then we come back looking at this one here as we're about to get into Microsoft. This was a fairly decent paying trade. Let's kind of look at it. Look at all 4 charts. I like to go through all 4 charts. So we got the 1 minute here. Start at the small time frame. It's kind of curling back up right into this area right here. 2 minute recovering the 9 moving average, but we don't have any confirmation that it's going to break out. But our entry is as it breaks this area. Wide stop. We gave this a very wide stop. And we see it triggers us in. Look at the 5. 5 is showing the same, but look over here to the left. We got that resistance right there. So we have a little resistance. 10 minute. 10 minute looks decent. But again, we're seeing stuff on the larger time frame out to the left, in addition to what we had in the pre-market to the left. So let's kind of scroll this one up. Let's see what it does. We're up about a half hour right now. So it's moving up. You notice we've made back all of that we had lost on the first Microsoft trade. So at this point, that was my thought. I'm like, let me at least get what I done made. Never paid attention to this right here. That there is expectation. But I still bring my stop up to lock in 1R. Because we did see that it just wasn't going like it should have been going. But I didn't pay no mind that it wasn't going because it was hitting this little area right here. And that's where marking the chart at. You don't see no lines on this chart this morning. So I had no areas marked off. Needed to have those areas marked off for the pre-market. So what time is it? We're about to get into this LYFT trade. Man, LYFT was nice this morning. And this was a nice trade that I moved the stop to break even too fast. But you'll see that I stopped out, and 1 minute later, I was back in that trade because I knew it was a good trade that I just didn't let work. So By this time of morning, 9:55, I'm not paying attention to this 1 minute chart over here anymore. This should be changed to the 30-minute. So not really paying no mind to that. 2 minute looks good. Nice little, it's curling. We see the 9 moving average is headed up. The VWAP is headed up. Looking at the 5. Again, we have this junk right here. One thing that I do need to start paying more attention to is the volume. And did you notice how quick that thing made a move up, and I had to stop right on top of it? We come over here, we look at the 10-minute. 10-minute is showing, I can't call that strong, because look at this top and tail with a little decent volume. And that was one thing that I noticed this afternoon, just looking at some charts while I was out in my shop working, is that I have to pay attention to the volume. I took, and we'll notice this one on the CVS trade when we get to it. Took that CVS trade based on the candle, and I should have looked at the volume as well. But you see, we get right back in that trade. I was like, why did I get out of that trade? That made absolutely no sense. So here we go. This is a CVS trade. Now look at it. I'm going to pause it real quick and come up here. Look at this candle. Nice size candle, but look at the volume that's on it. There is no volume in that candle. We can come down here on the 2 minute. Same thing. No real appreciable volume. That's something that I need to start paying attention to, is the volume in those candles. Seeing if sellers are coming in, if I'm going to the downside, or if buyers are coming in. That candle has no real pressure. It's almost a trap. And I fell for the trap. Fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. This is one of those ones that I like to say that it's getting heavy, but it's not getting heavy if it doesn't have any volume in it. So it looks like it's going to go. Looks like it's going to go. We were share sized appropriately, and it just did not go. But come back over, take a peek at LYFT. We see it's doing what we expected it to do. But again, our expectation is that it's going to come up here and kind of run into a little trouble. So let's kind of speed this one up. We're back looking at CVS. Again, look, it hadn't moved at all. This thing hadn't moved at all. So at that point, how I got out of LYFT like I did, I should have been getting out of CVS, because it didn't do what I expected it to do. But now we see we're moving our target up. Again, expectation is it's probably going to catch a little resistance here. We see that it had it over there as well. But we're good. We're almost up 1 R on the trade. Already bringing that thing up to break even. Actually, we're bringing it to capture a little profit. And that was one of the things that me and Evan have been talking about, is just locking in profit. Is that the thing to do? Or once you're in the trade, let that thing work. But this one does work. We see that it's moving. And one of the people that watched my video and posted a comment down in the comment section, he made an excellent point. And his point was, he is not going to get out of a trade until he gets a red candle. Look at this. I stop out, right? But this thing never had a red candle. The smart thing to do would have been to put the stop right there once this candle finished. And then let this candle do what it's going to do. and then put it right below that one. I used to do that last year when I was trading. I used to do that. They call that bar by bar. And I used to do it 5-minute bar by bar. And you just keep doing that until it comes back and smacks you. Basically comes back and stops you out. This one most likely would have did it. I may have looked at this chart a little later. I thought that I got out a little higher. So this one may have not been. Oh no, see, look. So let me kind of scroll this up. That candle is gonna finish. Look at it. Look at it. It finishes green. The next one finishes green. We go ahead and we switch over to Microsoft, but did you notice that? Let me bring that back real quick. So going by bar, put the stop there. When this candle closes, move it up. I don't know how much I would have missed on that trade, but that there would have been a good trade. Now, this is one of the trades. Let's look at this. I was way over share sized. Way over share sized on this trade. Look at that. Whoa. I had a over $300 risk on this trade. I didn't know what the stop was. I just knew that I was over share size being in it. Look at that. $1.10, 330 shares. We are way over share sized. If this thing would have came back and smacked us, we would have took a hit. You see, we're down $100. When I got in this trade, I was like, I have to just know that this is a good trade and stick with it. So that is what we did on that one. But I did not know I was that over share sized. And the best thing to do on those is to just get out of the excess shares, especially if it's going. But it's that hard thing. If it's going in your direction, it's like let it like the game at the casino. Let it ride. Let's see. We don't take a trade here. 10:07. We don't get into the next one until 10:09. So we're gonna kind of scroll this on up till we get to NVDA. There we go. So NVDA, we've switched this over to the 30-minute now. It's a nice, strong candle, but again, look at the volume. You see this volume had buyers and then it had sellers. This candle here has nothing but buyers in it. The sellers have not. The sellers are almost like trapping again. They're like, okay, let them think that they're doing something, and then we're going to kind of push them down. But let's look at it over here. These have decent volume, kind of curling back up. 5-minute, decent volume. Because this 30-minute has just started. But decent entry. Looking at the 2-minute, decent entry. Looking at the 5, that's a decent entry. 10-minute, showing a fairly decent entry. Has some room up to the upside. So we're looking good. We'll go ahead and kind of scroll this on up. We see it's kind of struggling though, but there's that push. There's that volume coming in. Look at it. There's that volume. Look at that thing go. Look at it go. P&L open. We up 1.5 R. Again, that area there is going to act. Now look at Microsoft. Look at that thing. And we kind of just, like I said, from being over share sized, I kind of got out of this one early. And you see how that thing just blazed right through the target. It would have been in my best interest to just move the stop up. Move the stop up and kind of let this trade work. But because we were so over share sized, I was like, nope, let me get out of this thing. And let's look. Look at what NVDA did. It came right up here to this area, running into a little resistance. This thing does keep going. It does keep going, but we just start chasing the stop. And I think I am going to employ that 2-minute bar by bar once we get into the money. I'm not going to have such a tight stop. Just like, see how this candle hasn't finished and already have the stop up there? I need to let that candle finish before I do that, what I just did. Putting the stop right below it. The candle should be finished. It still has 30 seconds left in it. Let's see. Yep, I don't want to hit that button because it's going to speed it up. But once we good, maybe once we're over that 1R, let's just start putting the stop below the prior candle. And like I said, that's bar by bar management. And that was a style of management that I used to do last year. Kind of got away from it. And see, look, now we're bringing the stop up. Nope. Kind of crowding the trade. Let's not do that until this candle that's forming now completes. But we're just about at target. It was 98. I think that thing said $98 up here, P&L open. We see it's coming back down now. We move it one more time, and then it's going to smack us. Let's go ahead, scroll it on up. So now that candle's still working. We need to let it close and then bring it up. But that was a good trade overall. Just kind of got out early. What did that candle have? So that candle still has 40 seconds before it's going to close. This is going to come back down and smack us this time. But I'd be curious to see if it breaks the low of that other candle. So we're out of it. Let's watch it and see what it did. Okay, so see, it would have, not quite, wouldn't have stopped us out yet. So we'd be getting stopped out right there. But that would have been bar by bar. Let's see. We don't get in the next one. These next few trades, I had pretty much seen what my P&L on the day was. And I basically was risking $10 of the gains. So let's go. This one here, of course, we're playing it to the short side. Looking at the volume again, no volume in that candle. You look at the 5-minute, it's been working almost 4 minutes. So that candle is about to actually close, but no real heavy volume. But boom, it's breaking to the downside, triggering us in. Trying to look, don't really see it on this one. This one, we're just playing it down. So we're moving that stop down to break even. We know we won't lose any money on this trade now. Once it got to 1R, again, risking $10, I was moving my stop down because now we're just risking part of the gains. If we would have lost this trade, then we just would have been done for the day. But this one comes back, make $10, so we make 1R on that trade. And again, that's just taking some trades. So we kind of scroll through, come across NET, and I'm like, man, this thing was pretty good. I was looking at taking a trade, and then I looked over here to the left, and I'm like, nope, over here, this should have kept on going, setting a new higher high. But it didn't. So that lost my interest very quickly. Then come over here to Google. You see I've dropped a line there based off of this point right here. Saying that if that breaks it to the downside, this one, I was taking the trade back down to VWAP. I was saying, but again, risking $20. I'm sorry, risking $10 on this one. Looked a little shaky off the rip, but look at it. It's fighting that area. It breaks it, comes back above it, acts like it's gonna stop us out. And there's that move to the downside. And there we go. We've moved our stop to break even, so we won't lose money. That was target. That was my target right there. So I moved the target up to it and watch that thing keep on going. So we ended up giving up this little tiny bit of profit, but got what I wanted out of the trade, and then watch what it does. Look at that. Nope, it's not going to stay there. Look at that. So good exit. Had the area where I wanted to, where I figured the trade would go to. That's what it did. Peekaboo just a little bit. Definitely did not want to have my target down here at previous low of day, because again, that's an area. It's not going to come and touch it. Even the VWAP is an area as well, but I was playing that to the VWAP, and it worked pretty good. Worked pretty good. But that was our last trade of the morning, and we definitely finished the week up fairly strong. I think that might have been our best day of the week. Let's take a peek at TRADERVUE real quick. Yep, that was our best day of the week. Almost hit target. Tuesday wasn't bad, 169. So decent way to start the week off. Let's take a peek. Let's see what we did. Of course, we know it was 5 green days. What did we do? 674. Not bad. Not bad. Short of our daily goal, which is that is a very, very like real high expectation goal. Wanting 4R out of the day. That's pretty high. 2R should be good, and we did 2R. That's saying if we took 4 trades and we won 2 and we lost 2, we're gonna make 2R. So we did that. So can't complain. Average winner 35, average loser 29. Both of those a little lower than what we expect. This is good. 72-28 win loss, and this is excellent. Our profit factor of 3. I looked this up. They were saying that a profit factor of 1 is profitable. Profit factor of 2 is good. And a profit factor of 3 is excellent. So we're good there. Largest gainer, 206. Largest loser, 62. That was that CVS trade. So decent day and a decent week. And of course, we just into the first week. So Friday was good. You see that right there. That's that hour from 10 to 11. So that's good. Decent. And we'll be back at it next week. I don't think I'll be trading on Monday. I have to have some work done on my eye. So very early doctor's appointment, and I don't think I will be trading on Monday, but never know. Might be able to come back and get something in. But hope to be back at it Tuesday. Actually, may not trade Tuesday either. I got a follow-up appointment. So next week going to be kind of hit or miss. But hope y'all have a good weekend. Hopefully y'all had a good week in the market if you are trading. If you're still learning to trade, hopefully you're getting some practice in the sim just to learn the platform. Or if you don't have the funds to trade. But if you have the funds to put in a cash account, I always say it's best to get in the market. If you're not doing nothing but risking $5 a trade, if you're not just doing anything but practicing your strategy with one share, 2 shares, but just actually get in the market so that you can get that adrenaline. Because trust me, even if you're risking $5, people say $5, that's not no money. But when you have that adrenaline flowing and you actually in the market, it's different than being in that sim. And plus, the sim will feel you on everything. The sim will feel you when a stock is halted. You're not going to get into a stock if it's halted in the real market. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and we will be back at it next week. Peace.